Would like to bring up Kevin Kenney from INL to talk a little bit about storage and some of the activities what INL is involved in.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be with you here today. First of all, I'd like to start by myself and all my colleagues at Idaho National Laboratory would like to join with Senator Grassley and Governor Culver in congratulating POET for following your dreams, as well as congratulating the farmers, the early adopters who have signed up to supply feedstocks to POET, as well as the community of Emmetsburg on yet another milestone towards the successful completion of Project Liberty and towards the commercialization of cellulosic ethanol. You guys should be proud of what you've accomplished here. The world is watching. Our nation is watching. They're watching to see what's happening in Emmetsburg, Iowa. And you know, as they watch, they're learning. You know, and that's our job as researchers from the lab. We're funded by the Department of Energy to solve problems, to overcome barriers to the economic and sustainable supply of lignocellulosic biomass to secure the energy future of our country. And so our job is to educate. And one of our focuses is on biomass storage. So I'm a research engineer from Idaho National Lab. I lead a small team of researchers that about a year ago we joined in partnership with POET to conduct two of probably the largest biomass storage projects that have ever been conducted. One of them focused on loose cob storage. As you guys entered the facility this morning, you passed some cob piles here to your south. That's part of our project where we're looking at storage of loose cobs. Our focus is on self-heating as well as the degradation. Particular focus of those studies is to look at the impact of pile size on heating and degradation. Certainly we know that with small field-side piles, the risks are minimal, but as you scale up, the risks become more significant. So the focus has been on that. So we've got sensors inserted into those piles, temperature sensors, moisture sensors, where we're continually monitoring temperature and moisture. Here next week, we'll be taking those piles down where we'll conclude our study and publish those results. Another study we've conducted is over in Hurley, South Dakota, where we focused on the storage of large square bales. We've collected all total about 800 large square bales ranging in moisture content from 25 to 40%. We structured the study really based on the risks of self-heating. So we structured the study to cover a range of storage options which we perceive to be range from the lowest risk option to the riskiest option with respect to self-heating. These stacks also had temperature sensors inserted in them, and then every 2 months we go out and we destructively sample these bales. So we can learn about how they're holding up during storage, how they're degrading, how they're preserving, and correlate that back to temperature and the composition and the overall value of this product. The first year study has given us some insights on how to store high moisture bales. All these bales from 25 to 40% heat up. They all degrade over time. But one of the interesting things that emerged from this is the realization that there's a shelf life. They aren't indefinitely stable. The clock is ticking from the time we put them into storage. But there's a shelf life that we've identified where the material maintains some level of stability, presumably some level of quality that we can count on, and that this shelf life can be managed, it can be remotely detected, and it can be managed. And that's the focus of our study as we go forward. As we do go forward this next year, we're going to move the study to Emmetsburg. So you'll see me, myself, our researchers in the Kirby Cafe every morning. You'll see us in the fields working with many of you to collect bales. We're going to reduce the number of storage options that we looked into last year, but we're also going to expand it to include second pass baling as well as round baling to see how those affect this, the stability, the thermal heating, as well as the shelf life that we've evaluated and looked at. Now, at this particular time, I think that we still don't have the data, we still have too much ambiguity to suggest that we do anything different with storage than what we currently do with hay. And so the guidelines for hay storage should be followed. Dry the material down prior to baling when you can. Tarp the stacks using a high quality hay tarp. Choose the storage location carefully as well. You want a well-drained site. Use rock or aggregate beneath the stack for drainage to promote drainage where you can. And we'll work with you several farmers on collecting high moisture bales, where we're going to continue to focus so that we can continue to ultimately develop new practices to change the paradigm for biomass storage. Really, the guiding principle for what we're doing is the realization that the rules for biomass may be different than the rules for livestock and feed. And in order for us to achieve this change, we've got to reduce ambiguity. We reduce this ambiguity by collecting data. By analyzing the data, we identify new principles, new guidelines, and ultimately we can issue recommended practices for storage of biomass. So I look forward to working with many of you guys. Look forward to spending a significant part of our fall in your community. We'll be here at the tables after to answer any questions and talk in more detail about what we're doing. Thank you very much.